Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will now have the press statements following the India-Japan 2+2 ministerial dialogue. I would first request Honorable Raksha Mantri, Shri Rajnath Singh, to deliver his remarks to the media. Sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kihara Minoru, Minister of Defense, Japan. Ms. Yoko Kamikawa, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Japan. Dr. Jaishankar Ji, External Affairs Minister, Government of India. Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. सबसे पहले मुझे भारत और जापान 2+2 डायलॉग्स के तीसरे एडिशन को भारत में को-होस्ट करते हुए खुशी हुई है। मैं हमारे स्पेशल स्ट्रेटेजिक और ग्लोबल पार्टनरशिप को और आगे बढ़ाने वाली शानदार इंटरेक्शन के लिए सभी मिनिस्टर, उनके डेलीगेशन और स्टाफ की सराहना करता हूं। हमारे बायलैटरल रिलेशंस के प्रति उनके कमिटमेंट की मैं दिल से सराहना करता हूं। यह वर्ष भारत और जापान दोनों के लिए महत्वपूर्ण है क्योंकि हम अपनी स्पेशल ग्लोबल स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप की स्थापना के 10 वर्ष पूरे होने का जश्न मना रहे हैं। मैं पिछले दशक में डिफेंस कोऑपरेशन के संबंध में हमारे दोनों देशों द्वारा की गई प्रोग्रेस को देखकर बेहद खुश हूं। मुझे प्रेस के सदस्यों को यह बताते हुए खुशी हो रही है कि हमने सितंबर 2022 में टोक्यो में अपनी पिछली बैठक से लेकर अब तक सब्सटेंशियल प्रोग्रेस हासिल की है। कई मामलों में परिणाम अपेक्षाओं से भी अधिक रहे हैं। यह हमारे दोनों देशों के रक्षा मंत्रालयों के बीच बेहतरीन तालमेल के कारण ही यह संभव हो पाया है। आज हमारी डिस्कशन के दौरान हमने म्यूचुअल इंटरेस्ट के बायलैटरल और रीजनल इश्यूज के बारे में चर्चा की है। इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन में दो महत्वपूर्ण स्टेक होल्डर्स होने के नाते इंडिया और जापान कई मायनों में इस क्षेत्र के महत्वपूर्ण प्रहरी हैं। इसलिए यह पार्टनरशिप इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन में पीस और स्टेबिलिटी के लिए बेहद महत्वपूर्ण है। वर्ष 2023 हमारे डिफेंस एंगेजमेंट में एक माइलस्टोन ईयर के रूप में साबित हुआ है। ज्वाइंट सर्विसेज स्टाफ टॉक्स की स्थापना और हमारी एयर फोर्सेज के बीच पहला फाइटर एक्सरसाइज वीर गार्जियन हमारे डिफेंस फोर्सेज के बीच बढ़ते इसी सहयोग का प्रतीक है। पहली बार तीनों ही सर्विसेज ने एक ही कैलेंडर ईयर में ज्वाइंट एक्सरसाइजेज की हैं। हमने फोर्सेज में ज्वाइंटनेस के संबंध में बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस के लिए अपनी पहली ज्वाइंट स्टाफ टॉक्स भी आयोजित की हैं। हमारे डिफेंस सेक्रेटरी और जापान के वाइस मिनिस्टर ऑफ डिफेंस के बीच डिफेंस पॉलिसी डायलॉग भी अप्रैल 2023 में आयोजित की गई थी। हमारे डिफेंस इक्विपमेंट और टेक्नोलॉजिकल कोऑपरेशन के क्षेत्र में भी उल्लेखनीय प्रोग्रेस हुई है। 2047 में जब हम स्वतंत्रता के 100 वर्ष पूरे कर रहे होंगे, उसके लिए हमने विकसित भारत का एक विजन रखा है। आत्मनिर्भर भारत को प्राप्त करने के लिए डोमेस्टिक डिफेंस कैपेबिलिटीज का निर्माण इस विजन का एक अभिन्न अंग है। डिफेंस टेक्नोलॉजी और इंडस्ट्री में जापान के साथ साझेदारी भारत को ग्लोबल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब बनाने के हमारे लक्ष्य को प्राप्त करने में सहायक होगी, ऐसा मेरा विश्वास है। भारत और जापान का इंडो पैसिफिक पर एक शेयर्ड विजन है। इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन में पीस, सिक्योरिटी और स्टेबिलिटी के मुद्दों पर कन्वर्जेंस और कॉमन आउटलुक बढ़ रहा है। भारत, आसियान और जापान सहित प्लस देशों के बीच कोऑपरेशन को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए ADMM प्लस का एक सक्रिय सदस्य है। आज की मीटिंग में हमने इस क्षेत्र में स्टेबिलिटी और सिक्योरिटी को बढ़ावा देने तथा मीनिंगफुल आउटकम्स पर पहुंचने के लिए एक दूसरे के एंडेवर्स का समर्थन करने की अपने कमिटमेंट को एक्सप्रेस किया है। मैं एक बार फिर श्री किहारा मिनोरू, मिनिस्टर ऑफ डिफेंस, और सुश्री योको कामिकावा, मिनिस्टर ऑफ फॉरेन अफेयर्स, को आज की अत्यंत प्रोडक्टिव डिस्कशन के लिए और इंडिया जापान स्पेशल स्ट्रेटेजिक एंड ग्लोबल पार्टनरशिप को आगे बढ़ाने के प्रति अपना कमिटमेंट व्यक्त करने के लिए विशेष धन्यवाद देता हूं। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Foreign Minister, Excellency Kamikawa Yoko, Defense Minister, Excellency Kihara Minoru, our senior cabinet colleague, Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh Ji, members of the media. Let me add my words of welcome to Foreign Minister Kamikawa and Defense Minister Kihara, who are here for the third round of the India-Japan 2+2 Foreign and Defense Ministerial meeting. We have just concluded extensive and productive exchange of views on cross-cutting issues pertaining to defense and security. Prior to that, I also met Foreign Minister Kamikawa separately to discuss bilateral, regional and international issues. The regional and global environment around us have evolved considerably since we met last in Tokyo 2 years ago. There is further complexity and volatility in the Indo-Pacific region and the world at large. Our economic landscape is also more complex, making transparency, predictability and resilience an essential part of our security. The world of technology may present new opportunities, but they have also thrown up new challenges. Our 2+2 dialogue today was an occasion to share assessments and agree on cooperation in this regard. A free, open and rules-based Indo-Pacific is the top priority for both our countries. We explored the possibility of coordinating our respective security and development assistance where our interests converge. We discussed the unfolding new avenues for technology, research and industrial cooperation between us as well. The growth of technology also necessitates human resource cooperation, semiconductors being a very good example. This is crucial for our diversification and de-risking efforts, for our economic and technology security overall, and for sustained economic resilience of the world. We are also considering a dialogue that will seek to give shape to these common objectives. Such trust-based collaboration in emerging technologies, including in the field of defense, will progress best when our approaches to technology sharing evolve. To this end, I requested our Japanese colleagues to look into regulatory bottlenecks that currently exist. India and Japan are resolute in our opposition to terrorism, including cross-border terrorism. We discussed strengthening our capacity building cooperation, including on dealing with challenges emanating in cyberspace and through the misuse of digital technologies. We have underlined our interest in deepening information sharing and cooperation for protection of critical information infrastructure. I appreciate Minister Kamikawa's determined effort to highlight the role of women for peace and security. India is the very first country to operationalize UN Security Council Resolution 1325. I am happy to announce that we will be holding a first ever UN peacekeeping for women officers of the Global South Conference in the first half of 2025. Given Foreign Minister Kamikawa's leadership on this matter, I extended a special invitation to Japan to join this conference. As members of the G4, India and Japan have been in the forefront of the advocacy for reformed multilateralism. In the meeting today with Foreign Minister Kamikawa, I took stock of the current efforts on the reform of the UN Security Council and underlined the need for our united effort. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the India-Japan Strategic and Global Partnership. Our relations have matured since then. We agreed today to task our officials with preparing a new framework for security cooperation. I also share our desire for a new vision for our overall partnership that orients our relations in line with our evolving national goals and priorities. Let me express my appreciation for Japan's involvement in the development of the Northeast region of India through the India-Japan Act East Forum. I requested Foreign Minister Kamikawa for a continued support. We also discussed progressing the high-speed railway cooperation. Our strategic partnership needs to be anchored in more robust people-to-people engagement. We discussed expanding the flow of skills and talents as also of students and tourists. Policy changes to enable this are a priority. I am happy to share with you that in order to nurture our growing people-to-people ties, we will open a new consulate in the city of Fukuoka. I requested for Mr. Kamikawa for his support to make this consulate operational at an early date. Our meetings today were truly productive and forward-looking. The discussions at the 2+2 meeting have paved the way for a robust agenda of cooperation on cross-cutting defense and foreign policy issues. I thank our two Japanese colleagues and their teams for the positive spirit in which they have approached today's talks. I deeply appreciate their support and commitment and look forward to working with them to build a better future for ourselves and for our shared region. Thank you.
Now we turn to the Japanese side. I will request the Foreign Minister of Japan, Her Excellency Yoko Kamikawa, to deliver remarks to the meeting.
ありがとうございます。本日、外務大臣就任後、初めてインドを訪問し、木原防衛大臣、ジャイシャンカル外務大臣、およびシェン国防大臣とともに、第3回日印 2+2 を開催しました。前回2022年の
Since the previous 2+2 was held in
安全保
2022,
障環境は厳しさを増しており、グローバルガバナンスの在り方
to consider the desirable global governance architecture. Against such backdrop, Japan and India, with ties that date back far into the past and historical record of democracy, are expected to contribute to the peace and stability of the Indo-Pacific and the world as partners co-creating new solutions. At this 2+2 meeting, as the world stands at a historical juncture, the two sides reaffirmed our strong determination to cooperate towards regional peace and prosperity. Also, as we coordinate towards Prime Minister Modi's visit to Japan as part of the annual mutual visit, we had a candid discussion on the specific way forward in security and defense cooperation. I wish to highlight two items as outcome of the 2+2. First, we concurred to deepen our cooperation towards the realization of a free and open Indo-Pacific, FOIP. At today's meeting, we reaffirmed our commitment to object to unilateral attempts to change status quo by force and to uphold and strengthen the free and open international order based on the rule of law. We shared our position on the importance of stressing the basic concept of defending human dignity. We also discussed the importance of cooperation with ASEAN and confirmed that Japan and India shall continue to support ASEAN unity and centrality and attach importance to concrete projects in cooperation with the ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific. Second, we exchanged views on progress made in bilateral security and defense cooperation. As the state of international affairs becomes more challenging, in light of the significance of Japan-India cooperation, we concurred to revise the 2008 Joint Declaration on Security Cooperation between Japan and India. Based on a mid to long-term perspective of our bilateral security and defense cooperation, our teams will work on the revision. We also agreed that security and economic security are inseparable. And regarding supply chain, we agreed to further strengthen our cooperation in economic security. I will leave it to Minister Kihara to explain the details of concrete cooperation in defense, but will note that we concur to accelerate efforts in joint trainings and defense equipment and technology cooperation. One subject that I have constantly prioritized since becoming Foreign Minister is WPS, and we confirmed the importance of this subject. With India sending female personnel to the UNPKO, we will explore cooperation in this area. We also exchanged views on regional and global situations, including the East and South China Seas, North Korea, and South Asia, and agreed to coordinate our efforts. Through the special strategic and global partnership between Japan and India, our two countries will continue to work together to maintain and strengthen peace and prosperity of the global community. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Minister. I would request Defense Minister of Japan, His Excellency Minoru Kihara, to deliver his remarks to the media. Sir.
It was extremely gratifying to hold the third 2+2 while enjoying the kind hospitality by Minister Sin and Minister Jaishankar. I had a meaningful discussion with both the ministers during the defense ministers meeting and then the 2+2. Regarding Japan-India bilateral security and defense cooperation, I welcome the steady accumulation of achievements, and we concurred to further deepen and advance this relation. On the bilateral and multilateral joint exercises, we welcome that Japan-India joint exercises between all the services of land, sea, and air are continuing, and with respect to the first multilateral joint fighter exercise, Taran Shakti, starting next week to be hosted by India, we welcome the steady progress of preparation for the first stopover by the Air Self-Defense Forces fighter jet in India. We also discussed our defense equipment and technology cooperation regarding the Unified Complex Radio Antenna Unicorn to be equipped on vessels. We appreciated the progress of bilateral coordination towards the transfer of the equipment and agreed to further deepen our bilateral defense equipment and technology cooperation by leveraging this opportunity. As for other areas of bilateral cooperation, on the cooperation of the maintenance of vessels in India, as it will contribute to the enhancement of interoperability between the Maritime Self-Defense Forces and the Indian Navy, and could also raise the flexibility of the operations of the Maritime Self-Defense Force ships in the Indian Ocean region. We welcomed the advancing coordination between the Maritime Self-Defense Forces and the Indian Navy. We also discussed wide-ranging regional issues and affirmed that unilateral changes to the status quo by force is not acceptable wherever it may be. I myself underscored the importance of strengthening our cooperation with like-minded countries in order to ensure regional peace and stability. Based on today's outcome, I am determined to work closely with Minister Sin and Minister Jaishankar and to further deepen our bilateral cooperation and to move towards the peace and stability of the international community. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With this, we come to the end of the press statements. Thank you very much.